Class is entitled
Sorry.
Managing Triggers. Create your own calm kit to reduce anxiety. A journey into serenity, balance, and intentional living. My name is Jessica Shirley. I am a certified health education specialist and a registered yoga teacher, as well as a health coach. And I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned through my work and my education over the years. Before we dive into all of the presentation, we're going to just start with a welcome and grounding breathwork exercise. So if you would, I'm going to minimize this for just a second so that I can play some music. I want everyone to sit in their seat, sit back, and if you're able, just put your feet on the floor, both feet. I want to be grounded this morning. If it feels comfortable to you, I would like for you to close your eyes. If it doesn't, that's okay. Find something that's comforting to focus on. Maybe it's your cat lying with you on the couch or a tree out of the window. And then we're going to just take a moment and either focus on our object or our calm with our eyes closed. Try to just notice where you're at in your body and how you're feeling. Is there any tightness in your shoulders? Maybe you want to roll them back and down. Could be a little tightness in your jaw. Maybe you want to relax that a little bit. If you notice any tension, just try to relax. And as we do that, we're going to send some breath into those areas that might be a little tense. And if there are no tense areas, great. Let's continue to bring that grounding breath work in. So continuing to, with your eyes closed, sitting nice and tall. I'd like you to breathe in through your nose for a nice, long, deep breath. Letting your chest expand, your stomach expand all the way, feeling the lungs north, south, east, and west. Hold at the top of the breath and then exhale slowly, either through your nose or out through your mouth. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Just checking in. Deep breath in through the nose. Filling up the chest, the stomach, all corners. Letting the diaphragm push the stomach out. And then exhale. And again, if you notice some tension in your chest, I want you to breathe into that tension. If you have some tension in your shoulder, breathe into that tension. Every breath, it's going to release a little bit more with every exhalation. Feet are firmly planted on the floor. Palms are either resting on your thighs or palms down or palms up. And if you close your eyes, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and open them. And add a little movement. It doesn't matter what that is for you. If you might want to rock back and forth. Might want to reach up towards the ceiling and stretch. Maybe you just want to stretch your neck. Shake your hands out, make yourself up. Whatever feels good to you right now at the moment. Continue with the breath. Getting ready to move into the presentation. Checking in with yourself. A couple more breaths. And then we'll continue. And I know everyone has their mic muted so that no one can hear what you say. If it feels comfortable to you, make one statement of intention. Just say out loud one statement of intention as we move into this class. I am safe. I am loved. I am healed. I will take things from this class to help myself. It can be anything that you like. One statement of intention. And then exhale. And thank you for participating with me. with a little grounding and breathwork exercise. And let's move on. Pause the music. We don't need it right now. Unless y'all want me to leave it on, just let me know. Okay. Okay, so how do we recognize a trigger? A key to recognizing a trigger is to pay close attention to your body's physical and emotional reactions. That's why I wanted to open with that breathwork grounding exercise to just kind of pay attention to where you're at in your body and see if you notice any sensations. Some physical signs of triggers can be a racing heart or increased blood pressure. You definitely want to pay attention to your vital signs. And it could also be rapid or shallow breathing, sweating, or even shaking, or cold sweats or clammy hands. It could be dizziness or nausea. And it could also be an overwhelming urge to just escape or withdraw from a situation. Emotional signs can be intense emotions, such as a flood of overwhelming emotions like fear, anxiety, anger, or sadness, and even, it could be unexplained, but you just feel this all of a sudden. Loss of control, feeling panicked or unable to regulate one's emotions, or even disorientation, a sense of losing touch with the present reality and being present in the moment, and just sometimes it can be in the form of a flashback. So it's really important to be aware of the body. This is what is called somatic experiencing, being present inside and noticing the feelings, the sensations, and the urges, whether it be physical or emotional. So now that we know how to recognize a trigger, we're going to dig into the steps for creating your own calm kit. So step one is identifying your triggers. So we needed to know what to look for. Okay. So you're going to want to create a trigger journal. I apologize. I feel like a slide got skipped. Did we, did this slide get skipped? I'm sorry. I
I
apologize,
think
y'all.
it did, yeah.
Yeah. I thought I was missing something. So I don't know what my program is being a little tricky this morning. I apologize. Okay, so we didn't even define a trigger. That's most important, right? I apologize. What is a trigger? A trigger is something that causes a strong reaction in your mind or body. It can be external, something you see, hear, smell, or even taste, or internal, a memory, thought, or feeling. This is really important because a lot of the things in the toolkit that we do, we're going to be related to seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and all your sensations, your physical sensations. Being triggered can make you feel like you're reliving a past event, and it's more than just feeling upset. It's an intense reaction tied to your past pain or your stress. So it's really important to understand what it is and then recognize the signs, which we just went over. The signs of a trigger can be physical or emotional. So thank you for your patience here. So now that we know what a trigger is and how to identify what's going on in our body when that happens to us, then we can dive into creating our calm kit. So we are learning how to identify triggers. And one way we can do that is creating a trigger journal. You can use a notebook or a digital document to track situations such as your emotional or physical reactions discussed here. Any accompanying sensation like heart rate, or you might feel tightness in your chest, have a hard time breathing, any of those things. Or maybe you just sit and find yourself just being still and not being able to move. That is still also a pattern. So then you're going to notice your patterns. Over time, you're going to review your journal and entries and your journal entries, and you're going to find these patterns. And you might start to recognize a trigger could be a person, it could be a sound, a specific type of interaction, or even a certain day of the week. And again, smells are very strong triggers for some, and sounds can be very triggering. So you're going to notice the patterns and then reflect on the past. Consider how past experiences, especially difficult ones, may be influencing your current emotional responses. And then you're going to check in with yourself. Practice daily mindfulness to stay attuned to your feelings. This will help you notice subtle changes in your mood or behavior that may signal a trigger. And this is where these practices come in, like the grounding and the breath work practices, because you can start to notice these things as you identify them. And you can, once you identify them, then you can start to be more in control of them. So this is a really good way to start to notice the patterns is by journaling, reflecting, and checking in with yourself regularly. Okay. So as I mentioned, today there would be a lot of focus on the senses. So this is my favorite step. Step 2 is to assemble your calm kit. So a calm toolkit or coping toolbox contains strategies and items to ground, distract, and soothe you during a stressful moment. And you want to try to include items from your 5 senses. So I've got some examples for each sense. And I want you to be thinking about this as I go through these examples of what would work for you. So for a sense of touch, you could use a weighted blanket. The pressure can be calming to the nervous system, or maybe you just like to be surrounded by pillows. Or stress balls or putty if you need something to squeeze on, or manipulation can release the tension in your hands. A soft fabric, a favorite blanket, or even a plush stuffed animal. Um, I'm going to share real quick. My husband even has his stuffed bunny that his grandmother gave him when he was 4, and on his bed. It's just, we all have those things that mean something to us that can bring us calm. Textured items, a smooth stone, a seashell, or even fidget toys, those little poppers, or maybe a spin ring, something that can help you fidget and can sometimes soothe you. So think about what works for you. For touch, for sense of sound, a calming playlist. That's my go-to. Create a music playlist that helps you relax. This could be anything from soft meditation music to your favorite hip hop playlist. Whatever soothes you is what you should create. Um, Ambient sounds are also a really nice thing to include. There's those white noise makers. You can download a free app, or maybe you even bought an alarm clock that has the white noise, such as rainstorms, wind chimes, or ocean waves. It could be a physical item, such as a rain stick, wind chime, or even a seashell that you found when you were a kid that still sounds like the ocean. So anything for sound that feels good to you. And a pen, for some people, it's a thing that they like to click repetitively or even tap it. Being rhythmic can be soothing. And in that sense, if you're a musician, if there's some, a hand drum or something, or if you like to play your ukulele, keep that close by, keep your instrument. So these are some things for sense of sound. Right. Just continuing to assemble our kit. Now we're moving on to sight. Photos are really good to have, pictures of loved ones, pets, favorite places, engaging visuals such as a snow globe or kaleidoscope or even an hourglass. It can be really soothing to watch those little hourglasses, just the sand fall. It could even be a candle, which could work with smell and sight if you like to focus on the flame. Another thing for sight is a creative outlet. If you like to draw or sketch or color, you could have like a small sketchbook and some colored pencils or regular pencils, or maybe a coloring book with mandalas and just a pack of colors, just something to help you calm down. And then there's also quote cards for sight. So you could keep a stack of cards with positive affirmations or inspirational quotes. For sense of smell, you could use essential oils like a spray, or you could use the oils themselves in a diffuser, or make your own essential oil mix in a base carrier. Lavender, peppermint, chamomile oil, these things are known to help calm, or maybe it's just simply your favorite scent. You could also include an herb packet with dried herbs like rosemary, chamomile, lavender, or even rose petals. And as I mentioned earlier, the candle can serve for multiple purposes if you have a scented candle that works for you. And then you can also focus on this, the light. If you don't feel comfortable with flame, you could also get an LED candle. for the sight. I know that wouldn't smell, but to give options. And now we're going to move on to taste. So includes something, taste is a very big trigger as well, and is a very comforting sense for us. So tea bags or hot cocoa mix, um, favorite piece of candy, mint or chewing gum, or if you just like crunchy, like a little bag of pretzels, things that, are packaged that wouldn't spoil fast that you could keep in there. Sour foods, intense, like even sour candy or things that can just kind of ground you and pull you back out of the emotional spiral can be good. And then for things that are a little bit more perishable, you could create a little snack list to remind you when it's hard to think we're in the middle of a trigger. Write a snack list to remind you of things that help soothe you and to make sure you stabilize your blood sugar because being in a trigger and being in fight or flight can sometimes destabilize our vitals. So make sure you also include a little list and then keep things on handy in your pantry or your refrigerator.
Jessica,
Uh-huh.
this is Dana. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
If you're feeling emotionally stressed, do you think a snack would help the blood sugar and calm you down?
Yes, and definitely depends on timing and everything. And yeah, I would not recommend like only doing snacks, but yes, absolutely. Yes.
Right, right.
I do that
Thanks.
a lot with work. I might have to take a break that even for that, and I do that. I use that a lot
Right.
sometimes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So there are some other calming techniques. Um, there's the box breathing, which we're going to close today with box breathing. I've introduced this in some of my other classes. So box breathing is the visual is literally a square, a box, and on the start side on the left, you breathe in for 4. Across the top of the box, you hold for 4. On the right side, you come down, you exhale for 4, and across the bottom of the box, you hold for 4, and then you continue to repeat as you go across, up and around, drawing a box. You inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. Okay, and again, we'll practice that as we close class today. This is one of my favorites. And you can even YouTube, there's some little box breathing visuals if that helps, that you can pull up where they're drawing the box and they're prompting you when to breathe. It's really cool. I've used it in some other classes before. There's butterfly tapping. So what butterfly tapping is, I have a little handout for that if you are interested in more detail, but it's pretty simple. You just are crossing your arms and giving yourself a hug. And then if you can bring your thumbs kind of towards the center, towards each other. And then you just, you want to make sure your feet are grounded and you're breathing while you're doing so. And then you're just going to alternate tapping your shoulders, one hand at a time, lifting, tapping. Okay. All right. And then the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding method is, sorry about that. It's 5, you want to just take a minute to ground yourself and name 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. That brings you back to your body and grounding. Okay. And I don't think I have a handout on that one, but if y'all want, I mean, that's pretty simple. I can definitely give y'all some notes on that one. So 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can touch, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can hear. You can also repeat affirmations like I am safe. I am surrounded by love, whatever that affirmation may be for you that works. I would write, I might even make myself a card that says affirmations to repeat to myself and place that into my calm kit. If any of these seem like they would work for you, I would make a little card or just a piece of paper and write and give yourself the notes you need to remember what it is and to help you know that this is what to do during your trigger. You could also dance or even go for a walk. Physical activity during a trigger is actually very helpful. I know that when you're triggered, you might not feel like a happy dance, but going for a walk or a run can get it out. If you just want to shake it out, there's pardon me, there's like arm swings. I don't know if you can see, just doing arm swings or anything like that. Any kind of movement can feel good to you. And there's been some classes I've taken on this where they encourage just free movement based on feeling sensations in your body. So remember that physical activity, dancing, walking, any kind of movement that feels good to you can also help calm you. And then last but absolutely not least is to talk to someone. Maybe keep a little piece of paper in your toolkit that reminds you, hey, call Ted, call Sally, or write their number down, or whatever you need. I mean, I'm sure it's these days it's saved in your phone, but put a little reminder of your safe person if talking can help for you. So these are some additional techniques that you can add to your toolkit by just putting little reminders or handouts that tell you what to do. And then step 3 is to keep it close and personalize it. So you want to use a dedicated container, like a small shoebox, a basket, or a small tub to keep your items in one place. You're going to add reminders, place a note inside the kit with a quick reminder of which coping skills work best for you, kind of like we just talked about. I want you to stay honest with yourself and don't minimize or overlook your triggers. Acknowledge them fully to manage them effectively. I'm going to repeat that one. Acknowledge your triggers fully to manage them effectively. Do not judge yourself. Don't be afraid to adjust if a tool doesn't work. Don't be afraid to get rid of it and try something new. Also, remember it's an ongoing process and to be patient with yourself. As you learn more about your emotional responses, your toolkit will evolve and improve. I create like a toolkit that might work for somebody. And if you're like me, I like to get creative anytime someone gives me a project or I give myself a project. I like to make it cute. So for those of you that like that, this could be fun. So for a sample calm kit, I've got a small basket for smell. I'm going to have lavender spray and peppermint site. I'm going to put in a photo of my family and my cats, a small card with the artwork of a mountain and a waterfall. Those are things that are calming to me. For touch, I would put a smooth river stone that fits in the palm of my hand and a beaded bracelet to roll between my fingers. For sound, a small chime and a playlist titled Calm and Centered with nature sounds and slow instrumental music. And for taste, I would include just a mint, like a peppermint, and for focus and cooling. And then maybe some herbal tea packs such as chamomile, ginger, hibiscus, or lemon balm. Some additional tools that could be in this calm kit would be the mini notebook for journaling and gratitude, cards with the grounding exercise or the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or box breathing steps, a small stuffed animal, LED candle, even a cool eye mask for sensory overload, or a small pouch of Epsom salts for a calming bath. This one is, I would say underrated, but maybe not. Maybe everyone's aware of it. Epsom salts or magnesium can literally help relax your nervous system and calm you. Warm baths can be calming. So some of you might want to include some Epsom salts in your calm kit. Give you an excuse to go take a bath. Get some relaxation. Okay, so that is what I have for today on how to create a calm kit. And before I open the floor to questions, we are going to do a box breathing exercise and a statement of intention. So I'm going to play some music again. I'm going to ask everyone to get into a comfortable position. Do what feels good to you right now. It can be laying down, it can be seated in your chair, and it could even be standing if that's what you feel like doing right now. Just sit back and relax. If it's comfortable, I want you to close your eyes. Just take a couple of your typical breaths before we jump in. Let's try to use our nose for inhalations and our mouth for exhalations. And as you see, there is a box on screen. Hopefully your eyes are closed. Maybe imagine a box in your head if your eyes are closed. And we're going to begin by breathing in for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4 as we repeat. I'm going to guide you through the first 2 to 3 cycles, and then I'm going to give you a few times to go through the cycles by yourself, and then we'll round out the class with a statement of intention. Breathing in through our nose for a count of 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. One more time with me. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. A few times on your own. Continuing the box breathing. Noticing the sensations in your body. You can even place a hand on your heart or your belly or give yourself a hug. You do this. Your mind starts to wander, bring it back to the box and the counting in your breath. If sensations start to arise, focus back on the breath, the box, and the counting. Sensations arise if you feel uncomfortable. Embrace the relaxation. I'm going to ask you to go ahead and open your eyes. Take another deep breath and a nice ah sound after. Ah. That's a ha breath. Taught that in another class. It's just a good thing to know. And we're going to make a statement of intention. Everyone's mic is off. Choose your own statement and say it out loud. I am safe. My boundaries deserve to be respected. I embrace all that I am. Whatever works for you. Thank you for sharing with me today in the breathing practice and creating our calm kit. I'm going to open the floor for any questions, suggestions, ideas, discussions.